is not waiting. Lashley, the world champion and the X Division champion, not waiting. Getting after James Storm here.
Jeez.
Brian Hebner's telling JB, you got to get out of the ring. Oh! The last call! The last call for Storm! He's got the cover! Brian Hebner calls for the bell. Wait, and a kick out. The bell rang. James Storm wanted Brian Hebner to be there for the call. Brian was trying to get JB out of the ring.
Yeah, but James Storm had Lashley down for a 3 count.
Oh, and now a big clothesline. I told you what Lashley can win here tonight. He can add to his collection, but it could all go away as well. And James Storm, the Cowboy, could become world and X Division champion here tonight in titles versus title.
Well, the Cowboy James Storm certainly is capable of getting the job done against Lashley, but Lashley himself is one to be reckoned with.
James Storm talked earlier about this being his opportunity. It's the first time in 5 years that he's challenged in a one-on-one match for the world title. Storm, very reminiscent of how he won the championship the first time, had the last call loaded up, delivered it to Lashley. Oh! And Lashley kicked out the big clothesline there.
Nice defense, nice offense. James Storm is on the top of his game, and Lashley has been floored, literally.
You knew that Storm would be focused for this match. Lashley knew it. He tried to get a jump on James Storm, didn't wait for his in-ring introduction. But right now, James Storm has weathered just that from Lashley.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about Lashley, I don't care how great, and trust me, Lashley is great. He's awesome, he is the man, but no one is going to take the former champion, Cowboy James Storm, lightly. If you do, you're in for a rude awakening.
You mentioned former champions, also former world champions, Hall of Famers, Kurt Angle and Sting, and Jeff Hardy and Chris Sabin and Rob Van Dam and EC3. They've all held the prestigious world championship that Lashley now possesses and that James Storm desperately wants here. Our main event, live on Impact on Pop, and Lashley set all the way to the other side of the ring, right out here in front of us. James Storm in the red and white trunks, Lashley in the black and yellow.
Yeah, man, when you're the world champion, you are the man.
Lashley right out here in front of us. Lashley standing here. Whoa. Oh,
jeez. I mean, you can grab anybody, but don't touch little Pope. Use anything as a weapon that you want.
James Storm is trying to build momentum. James Storm is looking to win titles versus title. Who will earn the victory? Find out after this. We have taken our final commercial break as we welcome everyone back to Impact on Pop Live tonight. This is titles versus title. It is Lashley defending the World Championship and the X Division Championship against the King of the Mountain champion, James Storm.
Lashley was able to turn the ties during the commercial break, drop James Storm into the hard guardrail, and it has been Lashley ever since.
Lashley now. This is where he's so comfortable, so quick, so powerful.
Talk about powerful. That was a powerful right hand by Lashley. Good grief.
When Lashley smells blood in the water, he is so dangerous.
Well, he's like a shark, and he's not like any type of shark. Is Bobby Lashley. Lashley is like a great white shark, Daddy. And if there ain't no blood, he's going to draw blood.
Lashley building momentum here. 6'3", 272 pounds. The unstoppable juggernaut of force. And James Storm trying to build separation. Leapfrog from the world champion, and he's got Storm up. Look at the striking power of Lashley.
What a tilt-to-world body slam by Bobby Lashley. Good grief. What power. Lashley may be the most powerful competitor there is here at Impact Wrestling. Without a doubt.
Cover here by Lashley and a kick out.
James Storm is no lightweight by any comparison. Lashley just hoisted him up, turned him around, and just drove him straight to the mat.
When you look at James Storm and what he's done in this match, at the very beginning of it, James Storm delivered the last call. He went for the cover. He had Lashley down. He thought he had the match. James Storm got back into this, but for Storm, I mean, the emotions of what he's experiencing, have got to be talked about here and what Storm is doing.
Yeah, that's a good point you make. I both agree with you 100%. You know, I still go back and my mind is replaying what happened in the beginning.
Ooh.
And Cowboy had Lashley down for what, 5-6 seconds?
Well,
5.5.
I think at some point we're going to have to look at the replay of what transpired at the very beginning of this match. This match that is still going on right now, titles versus title. Lashley versus the Cowboy, James Storm. Storm won the King of the Mountain Championship from Eli Drake. The celebration was short-lived. Lashley came out and said, you want to make history? Let's make history. Let's go titles versus titles. Nice neck breaker there. Cover here by Lashley. Doesn't hook the leg, and a kick out by the Cowboy, James Storm.
As Pope said earlier in the show, regardless of what happened, one way or the other, history will be made here tonight. No doubt in that.
Mentioned earlier, we are 51 nights away from Bound for Glory. Live exclusively on pay-per-view. Who will be the world champion? And you got to know that somewhere EC3 is watching this match very closely, as EC3 will be challenging for the World Championship at Bound for Glory, unless EC3 takes Drew Galloway up on what he offered earlier and puts that opportunity on the line. So much happening here.
Look at this. Look at this, Lashley, with the delayed standing vertical souffle. Insides turned out.
And now Lashley, he will wait for James Storm to get back to his feet, and Lashley will look for a devastating spear. Storm,
poised and waiting.
Here he comes, and Storm steps out of the way, and James Storm.
Calf wrangler by Storm.
He got him. Lashley's down. Turning point in the match here.
This might be the opening that Storm needed.
Both men back to their feet. Here comes James Storm, and Lashley overpowers him. Storm, big shot to the back of the head.
Back in goes Storm on the move.
And Lashley, crossbody. Storm down, Lashley another cover and another kick out.
I think that was desperation, pure desperation on the part of Lashley, just to try to slow down Storm, because you don't see Lashley use a crossbody hardly ever.
And now you see Lashley again sizing up the Cowboy. The bearded outlaw back to his feet. Lashley thrown off, and James Storm capitalizes.
That crocker by James Storm. He's staying on him.
Storm in hot pursuit, looking for the eye of the storm.
He has Lashley up. Can he go through with it?
Strength being shown here by James Storm.
Wow! He connects with it.
We're going to have a new World and X Division champion here, and Lashley kicks out at 2.
How close was that?
Half a second away was James Storm.
Again, strength being shown by Storm as well. The champion resilient enough to kick out, and this match continues.
Yes, Storm sort of lets it set in here. He makes eyes with the official Brian Hebner, and James Storm will go back to work quickly, not giving Lashley much of a reprieve here. Reversal by the world champion. Storm goes up and over. James Storm, waistlock here. Lashley trying to hang on. Strength versus strength. The top turnbuckle pulled off. Lashley down. Lashley pops and Storm goes face first up the exposed turnbuckle.
And there's a domino by Lashley.
Tremendous move by Lashley. Stays on his feet, back in the corner now. Stalking his prey is the world champion. Eyeing up James Storm for a devastating spear. He got him, and Lashley needs to go for the cover. Hooks the leg on James Storm, and Lashley was that close. A kick out by the Cowboy.
It's not over. It's not over. Storm reaching way down. The kick out. It's not over. Listen to the fans of the Impact Zone go crazy.
They've known James Storm for well over a decade. One of the originals who just kicked out of the spear from the world champion, who leaves tonight with all the gold.
Lashley's telling Storm to stay down. I don't think that's going to happen.
Storm has to dig deep here as he's trying to get back to his feet. Lashley yelling, this is it. Headbutt by Storm. Last call. Last call. He got him again. He got him again. New champion. And Lashley kicks out.
Sweet mother of Moses, what is going on? 2 last calls. Quick cover. Lashley was still able to kick out. I think the fans just are going crazy here. This is nuts.
It doesn't get any closer than that. James Storm looks shocked that Lashley kicked out of not 1 but 2 last calls.
I was almost out of my seat. I thought it was over with. Both men sweating profusely here.
And now it's Storm sizing up Lashley, looking for another last call, thrown off by Lashley, misses with the clothesline.
Long floor.
Lashley rocked to the ropes. A spear by the world champion.
And
Storm's down.
No.
Lashley with the